When the rain stopped, we set off again to see more of the city's Buddhist legacy. The four heavenly kings protecting the Buddhist temple are believed to chase away evil spirits.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to meet you. Information this temple, Bulguksa Temple, around this area. But as you see, a lot of students here today because school field trip, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I think you have a great memory, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Most of the wooden building inside, right? But in front of the stairs, stone.
Right.
It's original one. So national treasure. National treasure. And if you turn around over there like this one, could you see stairs like this one, right?
Yeah.
There's also national treasures. National treasure.
The staircase leading to the prayer hall consists of 33 steps. It's believed that if you climb the steps, your worries will disappear and you will meet the Buddha at the end. This is the main hall where the Buddha is worshipped. The 1,000-year-old Bulguksa Temple houses 7 cultural properties designated as national treasures. The Shilla Kingdom was famous for its outstanding Buddhist art. All these Buddhist sculptures and architecture represents the artistic spirit of the Shilla people. It's hard to believe that this exquisite and meticulously built pagoda, called Dabotop, is made of granite.
Right? So we have 2 national treasure Buddha. That's why I take you there.
So the first two are the
First one
pagodas.
is, 2 pagodas.
Right.
Down there 2 stairs.
Right.
And then this
These
Buddha
two.
and down there the Buddha. So 6 national
Got it.
treasures we have. Well, you see that the Buddha statues, right?
Yeah.
Like this one. Did you see that Buddha?
Oh,
Right? And then the first one, Girozan, this Buddha, what that mean, in Buddhism, Buddha, this finger symbolizes Buddha. Buddha and human being, not separate, same.
Right.
One body. Buddha and human is one body. And to attain enlightenment and the foolishment, delusion is one. Birth and death is only one.
I love what the Buddha teaches.
Right. Same deal
In
here.
realistically, I have read a book about the Buddha and it teaches a really so good thing which is very important in present life.
Right.
So which helps people to work hard and to make a better understanding with these worldly things.
For the final leg of our trip, we visited a place where we could get a bird's eye view of downtown Gyeongju.
Charlie, thank you very much for this traveling because I learned lots from you and a lots from these environments. You teach me a lot of things about Korean culture and traditional and about the Gyeongju. So it's really very helpful for me to learn Korean culture and traditional.
Sanjay, it was a real honor and pleasure to travel with you, to meet you and to travel with you down to Gyeongju for this shared experience in Gyeongju's culture, literature, and beauty. I couldn't have asked for a better trip. It was great to travel with someone who came from a different culture and had slightly different takes and different views about the kinds of things, the experiences, the cultural experiences, the literary experiences, and the natural experiences we had. It was an absolutely outstanding trip, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again when we return to Dongguk.
I'm glad I took this trip. It's given me a deeper understanding of Korean culture, traditions, and literature.
Well, Korean literature is gaining a lot of popularity and strength outside of Korea, with more and more different cultures being exposed to it. It really makes me want to pick up a book and see what all the fuss is about, because I'm not too familiar with it.
Well, you definitely should. And Bang Mo-gwol and Kim Dong-ni, who were featured in those museums in Gyeongju, I've read their works when I was younger too, because their works are often featured in school textbooks. But then I never knew that they were from the same hometown in Gyeongju, and that was surprising.
Yeah, there's so many things you can actually learn by going to these historical places. And for me, like this is, I've already been to Gyeongju twice already during my stay here in Korea. And the first time that I went to Gyeongju, actually I was just like wandering around with my friends and I didn't really care about history. But the second time I went there, I actually have this Sheila History Tour app on my smartphone, and I was carrying it around while I was going, while I was visiting all these historical places, and having that history explained to me while I was actually looking at that historical site is really a different way of learning. It's very educational, just like knowing all these like facts and stories behind these buildings.
Right, and oftentimes those smartphone apps give you special effective sounds, and it kind of makes you feel like you were really traveling back then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I love about, digitalized, we're living in that digitalized era.
Right, absolutely. Well, it's always wonderful to learn about the stories behind the places you're visiting and not just look at it from a tourist perspective, but to go a little bit deeper and uncover more. Just as Sanjay has by his exploration of these different historical sites in Korea. And it's really amazing that through Professor Montgomery, he's been able to learn more and more about Korean literature and become more involved with it.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a very meaningful experience for Sanjay to be able to go all the way to Gyeongju with a travel mentor like you to Gyeongju and find more about what he has learned through books, but now he's experiencing it in real life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of travel mentors, does our travel mentor today perhaps have any final words of wisdom or advice for foreigners who come to visit Korea, perhaps for the first time?
I do. I think nowadays Korea is gaining more recognition abroad, and a lot of people are starting to, study or learn more about Korea, especially with all these athletes or celebrities that Korea is producing. So I think definitely reading books or stories about Korea is one way of getting to know more about the culture and a tradition, because Korean culture is such a thing that you can't really explain in words completely. So by digging deeper or by learning about the story behind the culture and history is really fascinating.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's an excellent tip for our Travel Story members. And if you have any comments or questions about our show, please feel free to share them on Arirang TV's website on our webpage.
Absolutely, and perhaps you too can dig a little deeper and find the hidden culture and history of Korea for yourself.
Till the next
Thanks for joining
time.
us, and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.